Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very first Youth Make a Difference. I'm so excited to have our youth panelists and our mentors with us today. Our youth are Anthony and Rosa. Anthony, would you like to introduce yourself first?
I'm Anthony Gandara. I go to Skyline High School, part of the Advanced Social Science cluster, and I'm a senior.
Rosa?
Hi, my name is Rosa. I'm 17. I go to the Judge Barefoot Sanders Law Magnet at Townview, and I'm a senior.
Maurice Ash. I'm sorry, and these are our mentors, Maurice Ash.
How you doing? My name is Maurice Ash, and I'm with Texas Organizing Project. Thanks for having me.
And Camila.
Hey everybody, my name's Camila and I'm with March to the Polls, and we also support the Student Voter Empowerment Coalition, which is the program that Rosa and Anthony are a part of at their schools.
And last but never least, Kaylin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kaylin Smith. I'm the Dallas County Director for Raise Your Hand Texas, and we support GOTV work in our youth.
And I'm Robin A. Jimenez. I'm with the Dallas Examiner, and today we're going to, first we're going to ask, first we have a video. So let's get that started. Hey everyone, did you know that everything that happens at the Texas Capitol and everything that happens at the US Capitol affects everything that happens all around us in our neighborhoods, what, how, and where we build, our businesses, our stores and shopping centers, our research and science, our streets and highways, and our environment. So, how can we control the world around us? If you said by voting, you were right. Your vote matters. Oh wait, I forgot about school board elections. Of course I didn't forget. We all know that these officials govern our elementary schools, our junior high schools, and our high schools. And you can have a say in who serves as trustee. But here's the issue. Did you know that there are over 200 million young adults between 18 and 24 in the US, and only half vote? And in Texas, less than 17% vote in local elections? As a matter of fact, young adults have the lowest voter turnout of every age group. Maybe they don't know their vote counts. I think we need to make sure they know about the importance of voting and that every vote counts. Okay, that's it. Now go vote. Okay, my very first video. So, give me, take it for what it is. Couple of questions to our youth. First, Anthony, you're on mute. What is the purpose of voting?
Well, for me, the purpose of voting is to change the way of how things in my community go. I know that if I want to make a change in my community, I have to vote.
And I have a question for both of you. Do you see voting as, oh, okay, I thought I lost her, I'm sorry. Do you see voting as a privilege, a right, or both? Go ahead.
I see voting as a right, since a lot of people have fought for a right to vote. There's been many parts of history where people have gone into protests, even killed just for the right to vote. So I see it as right.
Rosa?
I agree. I mean, I see living in a democratic country as a privilege as opposed to other countries where they don't really understand or they don't really get the opportunity to choose how their country is run and how it goes. And I see voting as a right. I mean, especially me, I am a woman of color. So there's been many of opportunities and or many instances in the past where people have tried to take people like my voice away. So I believe that everybody, no matter who they are, they deserve a right to vote and to have a say in how they want their country to be run.
Okay, good answer. Both of you, very good. And Rosa, do you know how to register to vote?
Yes, so registering to vote actually isn't as complicated as some people kind of make it out to be. So there are 5 different things that you can do. You can visit the Dallas County Voter Office, the Dallas County Operations, sorry, facility. You can also download print and mail applications. There are 3 different applications. There's the English, Spanish, and Vietnamese versions. You can also request an application via phone or email. And you can also pick up applications at local tax offices, libraries, and other government facilities.
Very good. Okay, and this one's for both of you as well. Have you discussed the upcoming elections with your family and friends? And we'll have Rosa go first this time.
Yeah, so I have discussed the upcoming elections mainly with my friends, mostly because with school being in session now, I see them the most. And because a lot of my friends, I've convinced them to join the SBEC, the Student Voter Empowerment Coalition. The elections have come up quite often, and we've discussed the importance of voting. I've encouraged all of my friends to register, well, the ones of age that can. And we all really understand now, thankfully, how much weight one singular vote has. So I've discussed that with them. And with my family, I have discussed it, not as much, simply because I don't really see them too much. But they do know that I'm very passionate about it. And they know probably not to ask me because once I start, I won't be quiet.
Okay, Anthony.
Yes, this upcoming election has been brought up a lot by my family. I'm actually come from an immigrant family, so they told me about the value of voting since some of them cannot vote. So I'm trying to represent them with my vote. And there's been friendly debates during dinner about the upcoming election. And with my friends, I try to get them more involved in school, try to tell them about the history of voting and why we should vote.
Okay. And okay, so another question for Anthony. Do you know who and what is on the ballot in your district? And yes or no? And then for those who don't know, how can they find out?
Well, if you want to find out, you can visit the website dallascountyvotes.org and click on the right side under quick links, scroll down and visit the sample ballot. And that's how you find out about the upcoming elections, who will be in the ballot.
Okay. And Rosa, how do you educate yourself on who and what is on the ballot before you go vote?
So there are multiple means of understanding and learning about the different candidates. One is that you can visit in person and online political forums. You can also listen to the news and read local newspapers and visit reputable news medias. And one other way is to honestly just go straight to the candidates' websites, which is where they will usually have most of their information, what they represent, what they stand for, and what they hope to change or improve. And for general information, you can always go to ballotpedia.org.
Okay, very, very good. Oh, and I did say that we were going to go straight into questions, but actually, I want to do another short video real quick. And then we'll go into a question with your mentors. Sorry. So basically, I wanted to talk about the three branches of government. And first, there's the executive branch. And as you see, they don't have a lot of power, but they get a lot of credit for everything. Then we have our legislative branch, which is US Representative, US Senate, who's responsible for making bills that turn into laws for the United States. And then same thing for the Texas House and the Texas Senate, who does the same thing for Texas. And then we have Dallas City Council. And those are our local offices, and they control everything that happens locally. And I know this is real quick. Oh, and the judicial branch, which of course Supreme Court, which we don't vote for these people, but we vote for the people who put them in office. But then we have the judges. And in Texas, these are the list of judges that we have. And the importance of judges is because they determine how the law is carried out when you stand before them. So I did want to discuss that because we do talk about the importance of local voting, because people sometimes don't put as much emphasis on the local elections. And Rosa and Anthony, I'm sure you remember the bill that sat on top of Capitol Hill, that Schoolhouse Rock sang about, or I hope you do, which if you remember when he started out, he was just an ideal. And then some local people went to their local representative and said, hey, I think this should be a law. And so the local representative discussed it with them, wrote it out. Well, he agreed, he wrote it out. He presented it to Congress, which shows the power of your local representatives. So, basically all that to say, the importance of being part of your local elections is because those are the people who you want to represent you and your ideals. So you want to make sure that you don't leave it in somebody else's hands to decide for you. So anyway, Anthony, take it away.
We have a few questions from youth around the Dallas-Fort Worth area that we would like to ask our mentors.
And these questions are for all the mentors.
I talked to some of my friends about voting, and they told me that my vote doesn't count. How do I respond to this?
So, Mr. Ash.
Okay, I didn't know if it was for me. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that was some very good information. You guys are well versed and trained up to go. But I would say that talking to your friends about voting, that it doesn't matter, is talking about issues that's important to them. Of course, whether it's a girl or a guy, talk about the student loans, like things that are important to them, right? Getting them excited about it, why it matters, your student loan. If you're thinking about going to college and, you're accruing debt, right? We have a government who's willing to, get rid of that debt, right? When it talks about critical race theory, right? Suppressing the information, the history of our history, what has been taught in the classrooms, those things around reproductive health. A woman has the right to choose. And so I think that when talking about, why your vote doesn't matter and local elections, these are the people who gets to, sit in power, elected leaders, officials who get to make those rights. And, your vote matter, because the only way to end oppression is to vote, right? And so if you're concerned about these things, if there are things that they're concerned about, you find what they're concerned about, and you talk about these issues and letting them know that, hey, your vote matter, because if you don't vote, these folks or elected officials have the right to choose for you. You know, I would end by saying that, you know, the statement is saying, you know, even though if we don't care about politics, politics care about you. And so, yeah.
So if I may add, I think when people showed out and showed up for Obama's election, that's the one year they realized, oh, my individual vote matters. And every time a group of people decide they're going to individually show up and be part of the larger picture, you know, that's when you see every vote matters. When you see an area where, you know, maybe Democrats weren't voting as much and they show up and turn an area purple, or, you know, maybe an area was purple and Republicans showed up and they turned it back red. That's when you see how every vote matters. Every one individual vote absolutely matters. So, Rosa.
I keep hearing that my voice matters and I want to vote, but people keep telling me how to vote. What do I do?
Well, I would say you vote based on your passion. It is your vote. It's not anyone else's vote. It's not their voice that they're using when they step into that ballot box. And so you just have a narrow focus and you vote based on your passion and what is important to you.
Did you want to add something, Maurice?
Yeah, I agree. You know, you vote your conscience, you vote what you believe. You vote, you know, people who best align with you, your principles, your values, what you believe. Absolutely.
Anthony.
What do you do if you don't like either candidates?
Well, you know, it's a good question. I think that for most, you know, there's a saying that you vote the two lesser of evils, right? I think that you probably may have heard that. But again, you know, even if you don't like either candidate, finding something that is relevant about the candidate to you. Again, you know, what they believe. Ultimately, if they have 5 agendas, you know, at least one, you know, out of that 5 could resonate with you, where the other candidate might not have none. And so just finding what is important to you, your value, what motivates you, what you can use out of that candidate. Yes, the two of less of evils. So.
Rosa.
How do you choose between two candidates that you think would do a good job?
You know, for me, and I think you mentioned it, Rosa, or maybe it was Anthony, I apologize, but when you said you can go to the candidate's website and kind of sift through and really learn a lot about them. So I would do that. If you have two candidates that you like or you think would be effective in office, I would go on their social media, see how they're out in the community. I would go research their stance on important issues and kind of pick the one that rises above the other one. So you can have two candidates that you really like. I think you do your research. You know, you have to choose one. Do your research, websites, their social media, and just choose the one that you think is best in most of the issues that are important to you. Camila, I'll defer to you.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess I'm going to play catch up and respond to some of the discussion that's already been brought up with the whole idea of like, my vote doesn't matter. I think people conflate the two ideas of one, a vote not mattering, and one not getting what you want. Like, if just like, you can't say your vote doesn't matter because you're not getting what you want. I mean, you're voting, but it's an election. There's going to be an outcome, and it may not be the outcome that you're voting for. But that's not the same thing as your vote not mattering, right? And if you don't vote, then you're like guaranteeing that your vote will not impact the outcome of the election. And in terms of like voting between two candidates, whether they're both not great in your opinion or they're both great in your opinion, I think you are equipped with resources to figure out what to do, as long as you just vote, right? And then I always say voting is a habit you have to practice. If you don't like the candidate in the end, and the person you voted for is somebody that you're like, oh man, maybe this wasn't the best person to vote for, then you just vote for somebody else the next time, and you just continue to practice and you continue to get better at making those choices for yourself.
What, Anthony?
If we vote for the candidate because of the platform, but they don't seem to be following that platform, what can the citizens do?
This was probably one of my favorite questions that you asked. It is one of my favorite questions because I love this idea of advocacy, right? Like people, they go out and vote, and then it's kind of like, who holds our officials accountable, right? You voted them into office based on their platform, but you also have civic engagement duties and work to do after that. And you can advocate for yourself. So a lot of people don't know, you can email your representatives and ask for a meeting. With a group of people who are passionate just like you. You can, if it's a city hall, go to a meeting. If it's, your local board, school board, go to a board meeting. You can still hold them accountable after they're elected into office. And so I truly believe in this ideal of advocacy and going out, talking to your elected officials. If you don't like what's going on, meeting with them, getting a coalition of people, joining organizations and just meeting with them and telling them how you feel.
Rosa?
Why is it important to participate in something as big as voting when it doesn't feel like you haven't been invited to the process?
My initial reaction to that is if there are people in office that you feel like are not inviting you to the process of voting, then it's time to vote those people out of office and vote in people who you feel would be more welcoming or invite you to the process. And so that's the beauty of elections, right? If an elected official you feel like is hindering your right to vote, or then vote them out of office and vote for someone who would be more welcoming. And so that's really the power in your vote.
Okay, and did y'all have any other questions?
Can I ask them a question?
Sure.
Like, what do you hear so often people talking about youth and youth turnout being pretty bad, or, just I think people trying to inspire youth to participate and to vote. And I don't know, like, what do you think about that? Adults like working to inspire youth to vote. And I'm not asking you to give me a perfect answer, but just like, how do you take that when you like continue to hear from adults like, hey, your vote matters and y'all should vote? What do y'all kind of think?
Well, my initial reaction to that is I enjoy whenever adults care about youth and care about having their voices be heard. But a lot of the times it kind of comes off as surface level. Like they don't really give you any more resources besides saying that they care about your voice. So sometimes it's a little wishy-washy with that. There are some adults in some situations that say, I care about your voice, I care about you voting, and they'll provide those resources for you, and they'll encourage you to go out and advocate for yourself and do more. But most of the times, from my personal experience at least, it's mainly adults saying that they care, and that's pretty much it. They don't really do anything else to prove that or to provide you with any help or aid that you might need.
I want to agree with Rosa. I hear a lot of adults saying that we should vote and things like that, but I feel like we should have more support, and it should be easier for us to vote, because I feel like the youth has many ideas that can change the world, and like just having like a blueprint of like going out to vote, I feel like that could change the world in a way.
I agree. And I think sometimes adults may think that they're giving you enough information and they don't realize. Um, so I would encourage people, young people, that if someone tells you that you should vote and your vote matters and you're like, okay, but how does it matter? Just ask, you know, um, we want to think we have all the answers, but we definitely don't. We're winging it like you guys are. We learned just like you guys did, and it's not good enough. There was a time when there was more civic information in the schools, but that was probably my mom's generation, and so you know, just let us know what you want more of, or what we're not explaining well enough. And on that note, is there anything you want to add as far as information that hasn't been added that you think, okay, well, youth really need to know whatever else? Either one of Anthony, Rosa. No? Yes? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Okay, so I have a few questions for our mentors. Um, let me see. How is our history related to our future when it comes to voting? So.
Wow, that's history. Well, for me, I just received this question. For me, I think that I think it's very important. I feel that if you don't know where you come from, you can't know where you're going. Trying to understand the present is knowing the history. You know, for me as an African American person, a Black person, it was it was only after the Emancipation Proclamation, 244 years later, that people of color were able to be free, signing of the Emancipation. 1870 is when the Black men received the vote. For women, women of color, on paper, 1920, and officially 1965, the Voting Rights Act. And through those years, we struggle, people of color, to access the ballot. And today, after, countless elections, now we have gerrymandering, we have the suppressing of the vote, we have the poll locations being moved. And so it is essential, that we process what has happened, where we're at today, and how to keep moving forward. And knowing what we've overcome as people of color, and in this nation with the ballot, then it gives hope that if we've overcome so much oppression, so many obstacles in our history, then we can overcome the challenges that we face today. And so, absolutely, be encouraged.
Yes, definitely. I completely agree. You have to know your history to know where you come from. Don't make the same mistakes. How to some of these things we see coming back, and so there's already a roadmap. So we can take a look at the past and see how we can proceed forward, and because we have to keep the youth we have to keep the vote available for our youth, because each generation is so important. They're our future. And, you know, the more trouble, the more roadblocks we have when it comes to voting, the harder it is going to be for the next generation. But I would love to thank our sponsors and, you know, Ray's, Camila, Kaylin have been so instrumental, so have offered so much support in getting this started. Will one of you ladies like to have the floor?
Yeah, I'm gonna defer to Camila first, so she can so she can tell some great stuff going on with March to the Polls, and then I'll close it out.
I like how we're both like, you go first, you go first. Okay, I'll go fast. Thank you so much for putting this together, Robin, Anthony, and Rosa. Y'all are the best. I could ask y'all a million questions, and I enjoyed meeting you, Maurice, Ash. I just wanted to announce quickly, you know, we're March to the Polls. We do go into the classroom to register high school students every single year, twice a year. And so anybody that's a senior at a high school in Dallas County will get a visit from us in the spring and in the fall of their senior year to get them registered to vote and talk about voting and why their voice matters. And this year, in preparation for the November election, anybody, whether you're a voter or not, can participate in a contest to redesign the I voted sticker that people wear on their chest after they go vote. And so if you or your peers, or if you just want to share, if anybody's interested in designing a sticker that says somehow that you've voted in the election so that people can wear those after they go voting, we'd love your participation. And that's it. And that's in partnership with the Dallas Examiner, Raise Your Hand Texas, and the Dallas County Elections Department.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Camila. I know you have to hop off and take care of those beautiful babies. Good to see you. Just to piggyback a little bit off of what Camila said, we hope that we can get more of our youth involved with the I Vote sticker contest. So if you have Twitter, you can go to Raise Your Hand Texas Dallas. That is my page, and you'll see how to register for the contest there. Or also on March to the Polls social media on Facebook. You can see how to submit your sticker design. And how amazing is it that over 100,000 of those stickers will be copied and sent to various polling locations. And so a person who votes can get a student sticker design to wear. And I think that that is just a super interesting and exciting contest. Again, I'm Kaylin Smith with Raise Your Hand Texas. We're nonprofit, nonpartisan, education-focused advocacy organization. We love supporting our public schools, which is why I'm really passionate about working with students and students going out to vote. I don't care who you vote for, just vote for someone you believe in and that you're passionate, vote for something that you're passionate about. Thank you, Robin. Very nice to meet you, Maurice. And then hi, Anthony. Hi, Rosa. Rosa, I just saw you at Townview recently. Good to see you again. Thank you, Ms. Belt with the Dallas Examiner, for letting me hop on.
My bad. Maurice, if you would like to introduce yourself, your group, and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so again, Maurice Ash, and yeah, again, thanks for having me. Texas Organizing Project. We're an organization that fight for Black and Brown communities, working class people in Bexar County, Harris County, and Dallas County. And we say we fight with two fists, you know, community fist, you know, organizing members of the community around campaign issues, bail reform, healthcare, housing issues, and mass incarceration. And we also fight with our political fists, electing officials, holding them accountable, and et cetera. Yes, thanks for having me.
I keep doing that. Sorry. How can people get in touch with you and or keep up with what you guys are doing?
All right. So on Facebook, I mean, we have social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook is Organized Texas and Instagram, the same, Organized Texas. Yes, all three handles are the same. Of course, you can check us out at Texas Organizing Project on the website. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you all do so much good work. So I can say myself personally, I appreciate all that you are doing for the community and throughout Texas. Again, I would like to thank Maurice for being here. Thank you to our students. You represent our youth so well. And thank you for all your information and just your participation. You're showing up. That's half the battle. I would like to, of course, thank my boss, Molly Belt, our publisher, helping me with these technical issues we were having today. And also, just letting me do this webinar. She said yes without asking me too many questions. So that's very brave of her. So I appreciate your trust in me. I hope I did you guys proud. The real quick, the Dallas Examiner, of course, we're the leading African-American newspaper in the DFW area. We try to reach out through our youth, through our education page, our lifestyle, we have, or our arts and life pages, and some of the articles that we run. But we also have our annual college guide that comes out in the fall. So make sure you look for it at your schools. Youth Make a Difference was our very first effort to reach out to youth in a political forum. And so our first of many efforts. So we hope that you enjoyed. We'll also have a Youth Make a Difference guide, digital guide that will be on our website, and you'll see it on our social media. So make sure that you follow or sign up for our newsletter. And again, I appreciate everyone for coming. Don't forget to visit the Dallas Examiner on dallasexaminer.com. Download the app on your Apple or Android phone and follow, like, share us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. This has been Youth Make a Difference. Everyone stay safe and have a great weekend.